welcome to the Rise of Skywalker review. Sorry it's taking me so long to do this, it's because I was busy. No time to do it, so here's the time that I can do it. I'm busy in like a few hours, so it's like the only time I get to squeeze in this video. The Rise of Skywalker. Very good film. I'm gonna be honest, this was a good end to the Skywalker saga. I would say it's probably my it was my third favourite Star Wars film, I think. It was really good. I did have a few problems with it. First of all, the pacing was very terrible. It went way too quickly for me. Let me just light up. Way too quickly. It just was so choppy. It went through scenes really quick, especially at the first half of the film, where it went from the opening scene was epic. You gotta be real, the music was epic. If you didn't realize that was Mustafar at the beginning, I wish that they explored that planet a bit more than just like a few 10 seconds or something. But yeah, basically it went from scene to scene to scene. There's some of the scenes that it shouldn't be there. Like, it will be in the middle of a scene, and it switch to another scene, and then switch to that scene they were in the middle of. Like, wait until that's ended, then go to that scene. It's just a bit all over the place, you know. Like, I didn't really like that. But yeah, apart from that, it's pretty good. The second half was slowed down a bit, and yeah, it was pretty good. Leia, the way they did Leia was epic. Sometimes you could tell where the trick was when Leia said the same tone twice. She was like, Rey, like later on. So the exact same. I realised it the first time I watched it, so, you know. I think Leia was redone well when she was like, when they were like, I've watched the film 3 times now, which is insane. They said about Palpatine coming back, and then Leia was in the shadows always. That was done really well, but most of the time you can tell their trickery. I let it fly by me, because they did it really well. They used what they had really well from The Force Awakens, the footage. So yeah. Leia being Rey's master? I like how J.J. Abrams answers so many questions from The Last Jedi. Half of these questions weren't really answered, like, you know, clearly. Like this one. Leia, using the Force to get that down to the ship in The Last Jedi, like Mary Poppins. In The Rise of Skywalker, you explained that how Leia did train with Luke. You saw the flashback. That was an epic flashback. It really, gave me nostalgia when I saw their faces. I was like, oh my god, really? It was done CGI, but yeah, it was really good. But Leia training Rey and being her master and having a saber. We learned that Leia had a saber. Oh, hello, Minnie. You see a cat. But yeah, Leia had a saber, and it explains how she could use the Force quite well. And obviously, she did train Rey in The Rise of Skywalker, which is pretty cool, Minnie. I'm sorry, you're gonna have to go down. Alright, so explain that. Right at the beginning of the movie, they explained that Palpatine created Snoke. Straight away, like the few lines of dialogue was, I created Snoke, said Palpatine. So yeah, that's what Palpatine, oh my god, Minnie's come back up again. What the hell is going on? But yeah, that's what happened is, yeah, Palpatine created Snoke. And we saw, like, the tanks with Snoke faces in, which is pretty cool. Yeah. Also, what happened in the film, we saw Luke again, obviously. We saw Luke as a Force Ghost, and Han, and Lando, and Leia. We saw all 4 of them in this film. So they really used fan service in this film. Leia, Luke, Han, Lando. Amazing. 3 of them start with L's, I just realised. Lando, Luke, and Leia. Han, obviously. The odd one out. Never tell me the odds. Okay. I don't know what that was, but yeah. Lando didn't have as much screen time as I would have liked, but he was in there. Pretty cool. And his line, I got a bad feeling about this, wasn't in The Last Jedi, but it was in this film. That was pretty cool how it was done. The comedy in this film hit every spot. C-3PO, man, he was in this film quite a lot, and I enjoyed it. He was like, didn't shake mine, I'm sure, but I'm alright. When he was like crashed down to the cave in the sinking sand, I knew that was sinking sand. Like, literally, they landed in the grey. I was like, sinking sand, isn't it? And it was. A stormtrooper, the last stormtrooper that died, that made them go into the sinking sand. What the hell? Like, when they shot him, he was like, woo, woo, woo. And he crashed like after like 5 minutes, like flying in the air. Like, bro. The way the ships when crashed was a bit weird. They both I don't know, in the sand. Obviously, the big moments in this film when Rey was like he just Force lightning. When I was like that, when I saw that bit, I was like, what? How on earth is this possible? And I didn't even think she was going to be Palpatine's granddaughter. I didn't even give a speculation that she was going to be Palpatine's granddaughter at all. I saw like fans saying it, but I was like, no, that's not possible, is it? But they did it really well in this film out explaining it. Kylo was like, "You're his granddaughter. You are a Palpatine," and yeah, that's really cool. Rey used the same thing as that, in the Force Awakens, and she now uses Force Lightning. She has his power, so yeah, that does make sense. Rey's father in that flashback, he looks really young. I don't know how did Palpatine like give birth to Rey's father, like when he was like 70, bruh. Like right now, Palpatine would probably be about 110 or something when he died. Just what kept him alive was the dark side, the hatred and vengeance. So that's what keeps Darkseid users alive. The Force healing was epic. I think it kind of got ridiculous when I watched it the first time. I was like, this is getting ridiculous now. Force healing, lightning, what the heck is going on? It was just absolutely all over the place. I watched it 3 times now. The third time I was like, okay, I kind of get it now. But Force healing, they introduced so much stuff into this crammed up film that was 2 hours long. It should have been 3 hours long, but it was only 2 hours long. The film credits was like 20 minutes, but yeah, it was just way too short for the amount of stuff they had to fit in the film. It was a good end to the Skywalker saga. Sorry, that's my computer. I'm recording it on it, if you know that. But yeah, they just crammed too much in. I think they should have crammed less in, or crammed all of that into 2 movies, not 1 movie. Or maybe a 1 movie with 3 hours long. That would have been way better, but we didn't get that. So yeah, Palpatine was handled quite well in this film, I think. Palpatine, with how bloody at the end, how he died. That was like nonsense. He like regained his power for like 3 minutes and he died. That was just rushed. I was like, what? Come on. That was just way too rushed, that bit. The way he just died too quick. The music was epic in that scene. Gotta like that. He just died way too quickly. I mean, Ian McDiarmid, well done to you, mate. And no one can play Palpatine as good as Ian McDiarmid. Amazing. There was one line, he was like, "The dark side of the Force is a path which many abilities some consider to be," and I was like, unnatural. And he said unnatural. First time I watched it, I was like, yep. That was a great callback to the prequels, I think. The droid head that was next to C-3PO when he was getting his head thing, that was like, it was pretty cool. But we didn't get much out of that, really. I wanted like some battle droids to come, but C-3PO getting his mind wiped. It gave C-3PO an arc, a really good arc in this film. I'm not a really big fan of C-3PO, but this film I really did like him with the comedy, his arc, everything about that. And the best line of C-3PO was like, "Poe, okay, does anyone know what to do?" And C-3PO was like, "I know what to do. We should leave." Such a good line, man. Made me laugh my head off. I wasn't even laughing. I was like, what do you do find this funny? It's epic. C-3PO. He had a hood on as well. What is this droid with a hood on? I guess I'm stupid. For disguising, I guess. But, like, does a droid really need disguising? Not really. But, yeah. R2. I did understand why they kept him back, not with C-3PO. On the ship, because he had to back up his memory when he came back, and they wanted some screen time with him forgetting everything. So I guess that was quite cool. BB-8, he was just there, Dio, the new droid, he was there. I mean, he was like, I didn't really find it funny. Everyone did, but I didn't. He's just annoying, Dio, I think. Squeaky wheels. Babu Frick, he was like, oi oi. I didn't find that funny. C-3PO was funny, and the funniest bit of the film when was Poe and I'm going all over the place in the movie here. Bear in mind, Poe, Finn, and Chewie got captured again, and literally Poe was like, "Hello, fellas," and one of the stormtroopers was like, "Shut up, scum," and then she was like, "Go, go, 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 go." What the hell was that? What? It was so ridiculous. It was funny. Chewie, when he died, I was like, "Oh shit, he's dead." But then I realized I was like, memory, go back into